of advanced, today I'm going to talk about the opposite, which is the indirect method. So according to Google, indirect method refers to a learner-centered approach. It is where the teacher does not give information directly, but instead creates situations, provide experiences and guides learners to discover, analyze, and understand concepts on their own. It focuses on the active participation of the student, their critical thinking skills, and problem-solving skills. In short, the teacher's role in indirect method is just simply to guide students and never really demonstrate every step. They encourage students to be on their own, to be independent but collaborative. The students also encourages to explore, discover, and construct knowledge on their own. In indirect method, it is more on the students' performance and work, or should I say, it is all about the students' performance and works. So here are the 3 points of indirect method. We have 5. First is learner-centered. Learner-centered is the active participation of the students. Second is discovery-based. When you say discovery-based, it is students explore, investigate, and find answers by themselves. I think the best example for this is research. Next is collaborative learning. It often involves group work, discussions, and projects. Fourth is facilitator role of the teacher. As I mentioned a while ago, the teacher's role is just serve as a guide, not a direct instructor. And lastly is the experiential learning. It offers real-life activities, discussion, and projects. So examples of indirect method. We have inquiry-based learning. Inquiry means asking. Students ask questions and seek answers to research and applications. And next is problem-solving method, project method, case studies, debates and discussions, role-playing or simulations. Advantages of indirect method. It develops critical and problem-solving skills. Because students are not simply told the answer. Instead, they explore, question, and discover solutions themselves. It also promotes creativity and independent learning. Since learners have freedom to investigate their experiment, we practice thinking in new ways in taking responsibility for their own learning. It also encourages collaboration and communication. Many indirect strategies requires teamwork and sharing of any acceptance group projects and discussions. It also encourages motivation through ownership. However, it also has disadvantages, and that includes time consuming. Interview projects and discussions take longer than lectures, so it's less efficient for covering large amount of content. And students may struggle without guidance. Not all learners are equally independent. Some need clear instructions and step-by-step, which is not the case. Assessment is more complex. It's easy to learn fast, but harder to develop skills like creativity, teamwork, or critical thinking. And it requires skilled teachers to guide about giving away answers. So the teacher here must carefully design activities, guide discussions, and balance freedom with structure, which is harder than just a lecture. So in conclusion, the indirect method teaching encourages students to learn through exploration, problem solving, and critical thinking rather than direct instruction. It promotes independent learning, creativity, and deeper understanding.
A round of applause. Well, I'm impressed because you're able to substantiate actually your presentation by saying that according to Google, okay? Because I think OEJ has able to include source. Remember, this is research. That should be included to make it credible and reliable. And my problem with you is that suggestion only na next time be able to stop it at and verification is specific to opposite of this indirect method. Students are free given the activity and they are free to discover the problem, a concept at hand. Okay, that's all. Next presenter.